You can run toward gunfire and still struggle to walk into your own living room.
You can lead under pressure and not know how to talk to your family.
We've lived that tension.
Hi, I'm John. I'm a retired Army veteran, a law enforcement chaplain, a mental health professional, an assistant team leader in a hostage and crisis negotiation team, a husband, and most importantly, a father.
And I'm Sarah. I'm the wife and mom who holds the line at home.
We've seen what trauma does, what silence costs, and what faith can rebuild.
We're here to talk to you about the part that nobody trains you for.
Welcome to After the Call. What's up, everybody?
Hi, guys.
Welcome to After the Call. We are so glad you're here. We had a great weekend.
We did.
You want to start with that, or you want to start with the other?
You can decide. It's fine.
We have official After the Call
merch.
Well, more than merch. This is smelling candle stuff. It smells really good. I think this
I
one...
still haven't smelled it yet. It's been here, but I haven't smelled it yet.
That's your fault.
Ooh, what is that one?
I don't smell this one.
Oh, I love that one. Is that the cinnamon vanilla one?
Yeah, this is the cinnamon.
That you should just hear. I'll just take that right now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Who else's marriage is like that? Mine is.
I mean,
but they have our logo on the front. They smell great. There's a bunch of flavors to choose from.
Not flavors. We don't want people eating them. Scents.
Bar Marines may eat them though.
We don't want.
They may think they're red candles.
We are not. We are
crayons.
not promoting that.
Okay. All right. So.
Anyways, we also had Sunday afternoon. We had our first outing with Texas Rescue out at Donkey Therapy. I, for one, was not sure about how this was going to go. I'd heard of equine therapy, but I had never heard of, I've heard of donkey therapy, but I'd never participated in it before. And I am a believer. Donkeys are the sweetest. So we had such a good time out there with our first responders and their families that we've decided that we are going to host it every
second and third
Sunday from 2 to 4 of every month.
Yep.
We're not doing every other week because we're trying to catch everyone's shift. So we figure if we do 2 weeks in a row, we'll catch one shift and we'll catch the next. So.
And we had a great combination. We had sheriffs, we had fire, we had people from not even in the area that heard about it. They were at a wine festival the night before and heard about it and were like, oh, that sounds awesome. Let's go out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they got something out of it. But we literally watched one of our first responders, their son, who's a wild child. His parents call him Feral. But he's
my favorite boy ever.
But he was completely calm. It was like magic.
Yeah.
And all it took was Tracy from Texas Rescue to say, hey, no crazy movements, no nothing, just go in there. And literally from the moment we walked in, I watched everybody that walked in. I just watched the stress fall off of them. Mm-hmm. And it was literally...
It was really good.
It was awesome.
It was really good. It was really relaxing. The weather was beautiful.
Yep.
It
was a little windy towards
the end. It was very quiet.
Yeah.
Out there. Very quiet. Like you could hear some conversations. People were having quiet conversations here and there. But overall, it was very... it was everything Tracy said it would be. It was very quiet, very relaxing, very therapeutic.
Yeah. We had one of the things that Tracy had told us is if somebody's feeling a lot of stress, and we see it with our dogs, we have therapy dogs that we work with, that we're training, that we have 2 puppies that we're working with to get them ready.
We're in the thick of training.
Yes.
Great for us.
We have, 2 dogs that are a little bit further in their training. But they know when they come in here that it's time to go to work. That the dad's going to put them to work.
Yeah, animals are so, they have such good intuition.
Mm-hmm. And, Tracy had told us, hey, if somebody's feeling it, the donkeys are going to go to that person. And there was an individual that's had a lot of stress, a lot of stuff going on the last couple of years, and literally the donkeys had him pinned in the corner.
They did. It was very sweet.
Awesome.
I don't know if he liked it as much as we did, but I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, it was. But, like we said, we weren't going to take pictures. There was no advertising, no nothing. We didn't take roll.
You can't even take your phones. Technically, you can't really take your phones in with the donkeys because if you have hats, sunglasses, phones, then junkies will take it from you. So it is a good excuse to put that cell phone away.
Yeah, it's a great thing, and it goes in line with what we're talking about tonight.
I was just thinking that exact same thing.
So it'll be good. We're talking about a subject tonight that a lot of people don't want to talk about for simple things of the old methodology that has been around both in the military and in the first responder world is if you're burnt out, you're weak. Well, that's not the case.
No.
We're going to dive into it tonight, and we're going to talk about some stuff and some practical ways to overcome it. The last thing we want is for people to walk on eggshells and not have that functionality.
And we love to give practical advice because we can share all the stories we want. We can tell you the things that you should fix, but if we don't tell you how to fix them or how we have fixed them or known people who have fixed them this way, we don't feel like we're really doing our job.
And one thing that Sarah and I have been consistent in our marriage in 28 years, and even when we dated and lived together, when we first got together, we are those people that things will come into our house and steal things.
It's like The Borrowers. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
Did you ever see that movie?
That's what I was thinking of. The Borrowers.
Yeah, where you swear you put something somewhere. I promise you, for 28 years, we have put it in a certain place to and tried to look for it again, and it's been gone. And so we were just talking about this. We had our date night before we came to you guys, so sorry we were late by a few minutes. But we said that no matter what people say about John and Sarah, we may be all over the place and doing all these things and not consistent in many things, but what we are consistent on is we can never find anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
And the reason we're bringing this up is our daughter Madison, who is a junior at Texas Tech, had got a job, and
Go Maddie!
She called and said, "Hey, I need my Social Security card, a copy of my passport, and my birth certificate." Well, Maddie was born in Germany, so she has two birth certificates. She has a German birth certificate because she's a German citizen, and she has an American birth certificate.
She's ours.
She's ours, but she was born on the
Germany,
economy.
unlike what her sisters say. She is
Yes,
our little souvenir from Germany.
She was born on the economy, so therefore she is technically a dual citizen. Yes.
She's our German-American princess, but Maddie, you do belong to your mom and your dad. Just preface it by saying that. Can we
yes.
Can we throw that out there?
So we've had a book that we got right before or right after I graduated.
So John was in basic training for the military, and he had just gotten out of basic training, and we went to Family Day, and he had all these papers with
It's not Family. It's called Turning Blue.
Oh, okay. Turning Blue. Sorry.
Yes.
And he started automatically handing me papers. This is what we need to do for this. This is what we need to do for that. This is going to be our first duty station. This is all these different things. I'm going to go to AIT, all these different things. And I needed a place to put them. So we were exploring the PX for the first time, which, I mean, PX for the first time.
And no, not the land of the big PX.
Just the shopping center on Fort Benning. And then they had clothing and sales, which is where the soldiers can go in and get insignia for their uniforms and different things they need. And there was, I mean, long story short, a
big old thick binder.
Big thick binder that said U.S. Army across the front of it.
Yeah, no exaggeration. So we've had that binder for a long time.
Since 2001.
It's now ripped. It's got stuff missing in it.
Yeah, but it still zips closed, and I put page protectors, and each family member has their thing. Like, it has all of our documents, everything we could ever need. And when Maddie called, we are consistent in the fact that I don't know where it is.
I said, it's got to be in your closet.
Yeah, I know.
And
does anybody else have a closet out there like that where like every other room in the house is somewhat organized, and then you have this one that's like a catch-all that everybody just kind of tosses their stuff in there? A better
question is, who's seen Pirates of the Caribbean? Third one, when Jack Sparrow's in that desert land with just the black pearl. That is Sarah's closet.
Wow.
It is.
There is important things in there.
There's little rocks that roll around in there, and they like find different things.
That's probably why I can't find anything.
It's true.
Because the rocks are moving. Anyways, needless to say, Everything was found.
Yes, and she has her stuff. She sent it to her boss. She's good to go.
And yes, I will go on here and say it was in my closet.
So first and foremost, let's say, hey, welcome back.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to episode 4.
4.
Yeah, 4.
Wow, these are just flying by.
We're on 4, and this one, this conversation, it's gonna be honest, and we're gonna dive into some stuff that people really don't like to talk about.
No.
We don't like to talk about it, but it's something that's very important that needs to be talked about, because it can ruin marriages, it can ruin careers, it can ruin just life in general.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think people don't want to talk about it because this one, I think no matter who you are, if you're a spouse, if you're a first responder, if you are a veteran, if you're a kid of a veteran, if you're anybody who's listening, I think this applies to any and all the subject of burnout, and it really hits close to home for everyone.
So I want to start off by saying, and I'm going to say this multiple times throughout. So if you take anything from this, being burnt out does not make you weak.
No.
Being on the fringe of burnout does not make you weak. I have physically and mentally been exhausted because of things that have gone on, where I have been on the cusp of burnout myself, where I picked up the phone and said, man, I am struggling. This is what's going on. Just another call after call after call after call after call after call. Mm-hmm. So these happen, but it's easy to say, hey, pick up the phone and just get help. Mm-hmm. But the reality of the fact is, for so long it was beat into our heads that if you ask for help, you're weak.
Well, and I think that just made me think of something. It's like, so when you're a first responder, you're expected to run the race. You put on your gear, you run the race, you do all the things, you get out there in the field, you give it your best all day, every day. The problem is when we start packing on too many things, the racehorse is not going to be able to run as fast. The racehorse is not a mule horse. It is not meant to carry all of the things that we all carry. And if you don't learn to put it down and get rid of some of that burnout, you are not going to be able to run your race.
Burnout is what happens when you've been so strong for too long without recovering. Mm-hmm. So I'll say it again. It's when you've been too strong for so long and you literally have gone without recovery. Mm-hmm.
It's like your system just runs out of space.
Yeah.
It's like we have a few laptops in this house, and there's one small laptop that is always saying storage almost full, storage almost full.
And it is also a MacBook that is in 2011.
Yeah, but it is
operating system that you can't even update it anymore because it's
but it's been working. Old. It's been working, but don't you dare try to update her with anything new because she is burnt out.
Well, they don't even make things for it, which is why we had to get a new laptop through the business to do that.
Yes, I know.
So it, like Sarah said, it's like when your system runs out of space. So, and for first responders, it's not just physical exhaustion, but it's mental overload. Mm-hmm. And that mental part is the part that plays the biggest thing, mm-hmm. because the mental part comes home with you. Mm-hmm. The physical part, you see it. It's, you're on eggshells and whatnot. But when real life scenarios happen, let me paint this picture for you. You're onto a call. It's a bad wreck. Kids are involved. Chaotic scene. You do your job. You stay focused. And you hold it together.
Because you're doing what you're trained to do. Nobody can blame you for that.
But then your shift ends. And now you have to take all of that stuff that just happened on that call, and you have to act like the dad or the mom at home. And here's the other part to that. That also includes our firemen, our paramedics, our dispatchers, who are literally taking those calls and going, how the heck do I process stuff when I get home? Mm-hmm. So that's where it's at.
You walk inside, your kids run up and say, hey, will you play with us? And you've just simply got nothing left.
Yeah, you literally have nothing left, and you're like, I need sleep. I can't do this right now. Mm-hmm. And that's that's what it starts. That's literally when you're at that point, and it's where it starts to hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and not just you, but it starts to hurt your family,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I think where we're at. And even if you're okay, if you're starting a new relationship and you're living together or you're dating, and you're a first responder and the other one's a first responder, or you're not a first responder, or whatnot, people don't understand what happens on a 12-hour shift or a 10-hour shift, and you're going from call to call to call. And even our ER nurses, when they're going from patient to patient to patient to patient, and now they're 2 hours over their shift and they come home and they're physically exhausted. Little Johnny doesn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Little Sally doesn't understand that. They just know that mom or dad is home and
Right.
they
Or,
want to play.
or your spouse doesn't see that either,
And your spouse
because
doesn't notice.
your family doesn't see the call. They just see the aftermath.
But your spouse is going to be one of the first people to notice.
Yes.
And if you've been in a long-term relationship because you're scared of commitment, it happens. Sorry, guys, girls. Some of you are scared of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Still love you, still have a place for you,
Mm-hmm.
but you're scared of it,
Mm-hmm.
or you're not ready yet.
Mm-hmm. But I think your spouse or your significant other is going to start noticing the changes.
Mm-hmm.
Short answers, no eye contact, distance, and then they start asking questions. So there's a. Do you want to act that out?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
act that out.
Yeah, I think. Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you positive?
Yeah, I'm fine. And guys know, and everybody knows this. If somebody throws out the term, I'm fine, bullshit, beep, 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 alarms go off all over the world.
Right.
Because you're lying.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. You're not okay.
Yeah.
You're not.
I don't think fine should even be in the vocabulary. But I think when you've heard fine, I think as the person who's not in the field, when you're trying to ask the questions and you're trying to be concerned, I think you can only hear I'm fine so many times before you eventually stop asking.
And that's where things get really, really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Because the silence doesn't mean that things are okay. It usually means that they've given up
Mm-hmm.
and they're not trying anymore.
I'm more worried about a couple that is not talking to each other than a couple that's fighting all the time. Because I think when you're fighting, you're still talking and you're still communicating and you're still trying. I think in a relationship, when all communication shuts off and you just simply don't even talk to each other anymore, I think that's where the real worry needs to come in.
Yeah, and with that, tongues are our most dangerous weapon.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of talked about it last week, or it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about anger. If you're in an argument, watch what you say, because those words that you say are going to have more impact
Mm-hmm.
than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else will heal. But I'm telling you, there's things that we have said to each other that 16 years down the road still sting.
Still remember.
Yeah, and you remember that stuff, and that's not good. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen when you're in the heat of the moment, things come out. It happens. But at the end of the day, if you can control that tongue,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, no.
Would our listeners mind if I get up for a second and go?
I'm sure they would.
Dog? Will you guys understand? Are you guys okay with that? Let me go be mom just for a second. Try and ignore. John's gonna do the therapy thing for a second, and I'll be right back. It's one puppy, John.
It's one puppy.
Shadow.
And it is 100%. The reason that they're being loud is because, like we talked about, dogs feel it too. I haven't been able. Ooh, that was kind of cool. Ooh. Okay, for those that are just listening on Spotify, Apple Music, or iHeartRadio or Amazon, I just stuck my hand through the other screen, which was kind of cool. Because we're trying new things to make it where you don't just see the flags in the middle when we post on Instagram and stuff. So we're trying different things. But so what I was saying with in regards to animals is if you don't play with the animals, they sense it too. They understand. Um, we the last 4 days, 5 days, have had a huge issue with Freya, our one of our Malwas, who has decided that the 5 foot fence in the backyard is not high enough for her, and she is clearing it to go play with the deer in the backyard. So we live in the back of our house, faces a pecan orchard, um, and we have deer that roam back there all the time. And Freya thinks she's part deer, so she jumps the fence to get back there to go run with them. The problem is some of our neighbors don't like this very much, and instead of calling down here and saying, hey, your dog just got out, like literally the other day, I put them in the backyard, I got their food, I put their food out, and I walked in the backyard. No more than 45 seconds, she had jumped the back fence and was literally running with a deer in the back, and I yelled for her. She came back, jumped the fence back, but one of our neighbors had already called security and said, their dogs are out again. We're trying. I bought a new fence today that I'm going to be putting up this weekend. It is what it is. So burnout. So part of that too, and we're going to dive into this more when Sarah comes back, but part of that is, you come home and your spouse is walking on eggshells because they don't know how you're going to react. They don't know what you're going to say. They don't know how you're going to deal with the things that are going on. Or they just don't care anymore. When that happens, that's when badge bunnies come in. That's when things start to happen. That's when, quote, trauma dumping happens at work with a coworker or something like that. And when that happens, that's where things start to go bad. So ask for help. So start asking for help. Take time, ask for help, and go from there.
So sorry.
You're
so
good.
sorry.
You're good. So we're talking about burnout still. Talking about walking on eggshells. It'll take a second. We'll adjust.
All right. Okay.
See? It's adjusted.
Okay.
It's back.
Okay.
So we're talking about walking on eggshells.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah. Did you put them outside?
I told Tyler to. Let's just get.
All right. So you may sit in the same room, but it feels like there's somewhere else. So I think I've talked about this a couple of times before, where somebody is burnt out, and this goes on with post-traumatic stress. It goes on with other stuff, where you're literally staring at a TV screen, and it's not on, and you're still staring at it like you're watching something happen. Or guys have what is called a nothing box. We go into that nothing box all the time to try to cope with what's going on, because men and women are very good at compartmentalizing. Mm-hmm. There's a great segment out there that you guys should listen to. It's called Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. If you're dating, if you're considering getting married, you have to consider it. And the way he explains the male and female brains is fantastic. I'm going to take a couple minutes. I'm going to explain it real quick. Men's brains are like boxes, are like waffles. They have a box for everything. So men will put child calls, disturbances, shootings.
All into separate boxes.
All into separate boxes.
Time with family.
Time with family. All
what
that
I'm
stuff.
going to have for dinner. Like, they put it all into the separate boxes.
Not where you're going to go for dinner, but what you're going to have.
So it just means that when a man is in one box, he's only in that box. So right. It's like when I call John at work and I say, what do you think we should do later for dinner? He legit has no idea because he's in the work box. Mm-hmm. He's simply thinking of work right at that point.
Right. Whereas a woman's brain is like a bowl of spaghetti. And please don't throw something at me for this. But everything is intertwined. You're talking about where we're going for dinner, but you're thinking about the list of dishes that have to be done and all of that stuff. And that is great. And that's how we were created, was to be different. Mm-hmm.
Means we are amazing multitaskers, I think is what you're trying to say.
100%. If it doesn't get me stabbed by one of our listeners, yes.
Multitasking is a compliment.
It is a compliment. Um, so, uh, with that being understood, that's why I'm asking the way I'm asking this. Okay, so uh, let's talk about the children.
Okay.
Kind of talked about the spouses, but let's kind of talk about the kids.
Let's talk about kids because a lot of our listeners have kids.
A lot of them have kids, and this is a subject I may get a little teary on because
talking about kids is a little tough.
Yeah, talking about kids is very tough, especially when you're suffering from burnout, but you don't know how to ask for help and you don't know how to do it. And your kids, all they want is mom or dad to play with them, play catch with them, to come to their ball game, to do all of that stuff. One thing I will say about my dad is my dad never missed anything or tried not to miss anything. There was a few wrestling matches, football games, baseball games that he missed stuff because of work. But for the most part, he tried to make all of that stuff. But I still had to walk around eggshells the rest of the time because of what was going on.
Mm-hmm. But as a kid, you don't understand the stress that's going on at said job. You only understand there's my dad or there's, I want to play. Mm-hmm. And I think that, so a child walks into the room and says, hey, Dad, look what I made. And then you start scrolling or you're nodding off because the day has been really hard. And then you give them like that half. I'm sure we've all done that half-ass. That's cool. That's cool. Yep. But then they walk away thinking that they didn't matter. Yeah. Because they don't understand your burnout. They internalize your behavior.
Yep.
And they don't think dad's exhausted. They think dad doesn't care.
And that, no matter what you think, will transfer into them as they're growing up. Mm-hmm. It will transfer into when they have their own kids and they're doing that. Mm-hmm. It's happened. Mm-hmm. I know now, looking at it, that some of my father's stuff transferred onto me, and then I transferred it onto my kids. Mm-hmm. And that is not always the best of things. Yeah. We try to hand the best of us to our kids. And I have a saying that I use quite frequently in counseling: when you know better, you do better. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know you're an asshole, you're going to continue to be that way.
But once you realize you're an asshole, if you don't fix it, then that's your fault.
Yeah. And then you have to figure that. So when it comes to kids, even if you spend 30 minutes playing video games with them because that's what they like to do, cool. If you go out and throw the ball with them because they like to play baseball, that means the world to them. Mm-hmm. If you do what they like and you're showing them, but the key to that is to make sure you put your phone away. Yeah. Our phones, and you're going to hear this in probably all of our segments, I'm sure. Put your phone away.
Mm-hmm. When you go out with people in the back.
Yeah. Put your phone away. When you go out on a date, we have a rule that the only time our phone comes out is when we're comparing calendars. Mm-hmm. Like if we're trying to figure out what day we're going to record, or we're trying to figure out, hey, how many appointments do you have tomorrow? Or, hey, do you have this class coming up? Or, hey, do you have this going on? We look at our calendar just to see when we are. And especially right now with softball, we literally have softball Monday night, Thursday night, Saturday,
and then 2 weeks.
And the next 2 weeks. And it's like boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. So making sure all of that, we're coordinated, we're in place, we're making sure things are covered.
But when you're not coordinating, you shouldn't be on your phone.
You shouldn't be on your phone. Yeah. Put your phone away.
Instagram can wait. Facebook can wait.
Yeah. And, those things are going to be there when you're trying to fall asleep that night. Yeah. So put them down and pay attention. And here's the thing, too. Though I know that a lot of us are on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, it's okay to send a text message and say, hey, I'm going to be unavailable for a couple of hours. I got some stuff going on I need to take care of. Mm-hmm. Most bosses will be like, hey, not a problem. Mm-hmm. Just send a text when you're available.
Mm-hmm. And I think when you do that, when you say I'm going to be unavailable, or when you have the courage to say I'm going to be unavailable for whatever your unavailability reason is, I think you're setting boundaries for yourself. You're saying that your job is important, but your family is more, and you just need a few minutes to fix that so you can be stronger at work.
Even today, yeah, I'm a negotiator. I'm an assistant team leader. I sent a message to my team lead and said, "Hey, I had to take Tyler to the ER to get her uh,
The X-ray.
knee X-rayed, so I'm gonna be unavailable for a little while I take care of this." He was more concerned with Tyler than he was me being unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Hey, do you need anything? Where are you at?"
And I think a lot of people you're going to have that response from people, but you have to be willing to tell them, because if you don't say anything, they're not going to know. They can't just assume.
Right.
If you act like a robot and work like a robot and never let anybody see that you're tired and burnt out and have priorities, then that's how the cookie crumbles.
Well, because we're trained to shut down emotions,
Mm-hmm.
stay alert, and push through the pain.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we talked to friends of ours that, have a hip pain that they've just pushed and pushed and pushed through it.
For sure.
And she has trouble getting in and out of the car, but she's going to make sure she's there
Right.
every day.
Right. Right.
Um,
But home is not a survival environment.
It's not a what?
It's not a survival environment. I mean, I think sometimes maybe it can be when our kids were little and there was 4 of them and 2 of us. Their team was bigger than ours.
That was just, we were going to fight to the death.
Yeah, but that was survival of the fittest. Like, who was going to burn out faster?
The first one you take out, that'll set the record straight for the rest of them.
That's very true. That's very true.
But, yeah. So you're, with that, survival, you don't need to bring the survival mindset home with you. When you're at work, damn well, you better have your vest on, and you better be in the survival mindset. If you're a paramedic, guess what? You still have to have that survival mindset going, because you're carrying scripts. And guess what? There are people out there that are addicted to those scripts, and they're going to want to take them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a firefighter, you got cool shit on your truck that somebody may want to steal.
Right.
An axe.
So I think the scenarios at work are very real.
Yeah.
And I can see why someone would have a hard time taking that off. So let's talk. Let's spend a few minutes
talking about help.
Let's talk about how we can help.
Yeah.
Because I think that when you say things, we recognize that the job is hard, that it is like a high stress environment, and it is an important environment,
Mm-hmm.
and the things you're doing are important.
So let me start with this.
If your home is not a battlefield, let's try and help out.
So let's put this out there. All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's not about perfection.
What?
It's not about perfection.
What?
It's about intentionality.
What?
It means put your phone down.
Yeah.
Be present in the moment.
Yeah.
And do it.
Yeah.
And I know it sucks. I know working shift work sucks. I know that when you're working nights and your kids come home from school, adjust your schedule so you can be up with them when they go to school.
Yeah.
While they're at school for 6.5 freaking hours. If they ride the bus, they're gone for 8 hours. You can sleep during that time.
Yeah. But the 10 minutes, I think, will mean a lot to your kids.
Yeah.
And
do something with them.
And we've said this in past episodes. Don't walk straight in your house like nothing happened.
Yeah.
We're not expecting you to hide it. We're not expecting you to pretend like it wasn't a hard day. I think you're allowed to, we've said it before, sit in your car, breathe, decompress.
Have your 3 a.m. buddy. And here's the thing. A 3 a.m. buddy doesn't mean you can only call them at 3 a.m.
Thank goodness.
That is actually a question that somebody sent me.
Oh.
They said, hey, I work days. I'm not really up at 3 a.m. Well, no shit, Sherlock. If you ain't up at 3 a.m., it's okay. They could be your 9 a.m. buddy.
Right.
They could be your noon buddy.
Right. But the point is to get the help that you need, no matter what
Have
time
that person
it is,
you reach
sit
out
in the
to.
car and decompress.
Yep.
As far as communication goes, say something simple.
Hey, I had a rough shift. Hey, I need a few minutes. I want to be present.
I think that I want to be present, that when you follow up with I want to be present, you're letting your loved ones know that today sucked. Today was hard. I want to be here with you. I just need a few minutes to get my head straight.
You don't need hours. You need moments that are real.
Ooh, say that again.
I knew you were going to say that. You don't need hours. You need moments that are real.
Yeah.
And that matter.
Yeah.
So take the time and make sure that it matters.
Yeah.
And be intentional with it.
Yeah.
I want to take you to a moment. If you're driving, just listening. If you're somewhere quiet, I want you to close your eyes. If you're driving,
don't close your eyes.
Don't close your eyes. If you're sitting at a stoplight and you happen to be at this part, don't close your eyes.
Don't close your eyes. Just sit quiet with us for a minute.
Just sit quiet for a minute. Think about your home. Think about your spouse. Think about your kids. If you don't have kids, think about your wiener dogs. Why anybody would have wiener dogs, but some people have them and they love them.
And ask yourself honestly these questions.
Am I present? Or just physically there? Mm-hmm. What vision or what version of me do they get? Do they get the 1.0, the 2.0, the 3.0, the 4.0, the 5.0? What version are they getting? They should be getting the best version of you. When was the last time I really connected? Now, with that, when was the last time you took your spouse on a date and you actually were intentional about that? Or when was the last time you took your girlfriend out or boyfriend out and you were intentional on that? So pause for a minute. Now ask this. What is one small change I can make starting today?
One small change. Is it that you are going to sit in the car for a few minutes and decompress? Are you going to walk in from your shift and tell your crazy sweet household you just need a moment, but you want to be present with them? Not big changes. We're asking for baby steps.
There's an app called Motivation that you can download on your phone, and throughout the day it pops up little messages on your phone.
Maybe
that is a great
post the
thing.
Link to that this week.
Yeah, I can post the link. I got put it at the end of the video.
Yeah.
With the flyer for donkey therapy.
Yeah. Because I think, you've taken your phone and shown it to me a few times, and I think it really, they like really meet you in your moment.
Yeah, they're legit.
They're really good.
Where it's just a quick thing, just a small thing. If you need a Bible study, if you need something that you can spend 15 minutes a day just decompressing and reading to help get your mind focused on what is going on,
what's important,
ask. Sarah and I have all kinds of things. If you have littles, Sarah has kids books. Search her name, Sarah Hosey, on Amazon. She has a whole bunch of kid books. If you're, a dispatcher, you're a paramedic, you're in law enforcement, hey, I got books for you to help too. Just search my name. Add the chaplain part beforehand. It usually helps them come up. But little things to help make small changes in your life. Small changes turn into big changes really fast.
I agree.
So, not everything, just one thing. One conversation, one moment, and one intentional effort. So, as we run down to the last little bit here on this, what are some things that you guys want to do to be intentional? What is that thing that you feel?
What is that thing in your family
that's causing you burnout? We see it all the time where we have friends that are suffering from burnout where they'll go and they'll drink a 12-pack of beer they could be watching a football game, but they drank a 12-pack of beer to numb that stuff. Well, then the next day they do it again. The next day they do it again. The next day they do it again. The next day they do it again.
And from the family side, are you the one trying to get him to open up and he's just saying, I'm fine?
And with that, Copenhagen is not a coping mechanism for burnout.
No.
Sorry to say. It's not. We've all tried it. Smoking is not a way to do that either. But, it is another thing where it is what it is. It's there. If you're suffering from burnout, don't go at it yourself. Ask for help. Sit down with somebody. Get some help.
Because I think another set of eyes to help you prioritize um, what's important and what can be moved to the top of the list or the bottom of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes just laying it out on a piece of paper with somebody, just to say, these are all of the things A, B, C, all the way through Z that I'm handling.
Mm-hmm.
That you can try and take off some of those things
Mm-hmm.
because you've trained to handle chaos and you've learned to show up on the worst days of people's lives.
Yeah.
But your family, they need you on the ordinary days.
Mm-hmm. You know, what does an ordinary day look like?
Anything important to your family. When the call, what did we were talking earlier, and it said that you have the most important, maybe you already mentioned this earlier, but you have the most important job. But don't lose your family
Mm-hmm.
over this job.
Right.
Whatever this job is, don't lose the ones that love you most. Because strangers out there are going to need you. They're not going to stop calling. They're not going to stop asking. But the ones who are at home, those are your people. Those are the ones that love you.
And, you know, with that, here's the thing. I'm going to let you on a secret. And this is not agency specific. This is all agencies. You're a number. You will be replaced by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to miss you. They're going to love you. They're going to honor you.
Yes.
But if you leave to go somewhere else, you'll become that story guy. Hey, remember when so-and-so went and did this? You know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's what happens. And
but you don't want your family saying, hey, remember when Dad used to live here and he used to do A, B, and C? That's irreplaceable. That's irreplaceable.
Especially when, you know, if your marriage is on the rocks, if your relationship's on the rocks, hey, reach out and ask for help. Mm-hmm. Don't try to go at it alone. And the worst thing you can do is post it on social media.
Amen to that.
That was kind of part of the subject, and I forgot to write it up, and I apologize. But, you know, we have a tendency as a society now to run to social media to post different things. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. If you post it on social media, you're going to get somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
You may not want their opinion. It may turn into an argument, but here's the deal. You were the person that posted it.
Right.
So everybody answering it.
Well, in a relationship, I think we've mentioned this before, when you post it out there, you could have the grass is greener on the other side. And I think that's coming up in a future podcast, that when we feel these things that we've been talking about, communication breakdowns, burnout, anger, lack of communication, unfortunately, in some cases, it leads to that, well, that, you know, from the outside, that house doesn't look as chaotic as mine. And you go looking for greener pastures.
And, you know, here's the thing. The pasture ain't going to be greener on the other side, especially when you're paying $1,500 a month for child support or alimony or whatnot.
Right.
Because let's be realistic here. You were the person that did it, and now you got to pay for it. Mm-hmm. If you get to that point, have an honest conversation beforehand. Don't do it.
And if you're in the thick of it and you already did, it's never too late to confess and say, like, I think there's a big stigma out there with marriages. There's, you know, they say that there are some things that are forgivable and then there's the unforgivable.
Yeah.
And I know that John and I can both sit here and attest and say that if you were to take all of the things that John's ever done to Sarah and write them down on a piece of paper, and you were to take on the flip side all of the things Sarah had ever done to John and write those on the other side of the piece of paper, you as an outsider looking at that piece of paper would probably say, wow, those two
don't need to be together.
Those two should probably be divorced. They have every reason, logical, biblical, all the things to get divorced. And forgiveness can happen. So I will say that if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I wish I would have heard this before I started looking for something else, it is never too late to stop in your tracks and say, I need to save my family.
And here's the thing. Even if one of you have filed papers, it's not finalized yet.
Yeah.
You can still redeem.
Yes.
you can still redeem after it's been filed too,
You
or
can
after
still
it's
redeem
it's processed.
what's in your heart. I mean, you can.
But you have to take that step and say, "Hey, you know what? Here's what happened. This is what I'm doing. I need help to fix this."
Well, and a big thing we'll talk about in that segment is it starts with admitting you're wrong, which I think is really.
Whoa! What do you mean I'm wrong?
I know. See, barely even say it out loud about anything. It's like me earlier with not being able to find the papers. I did not want to find those papers in my closet because I did not want to be wrong. But I was. But I think it happens. It happens. And I think when you start it with I was wrong and you ask for forgiveness and come with humility and mean it. I mean, we'll get into this later, but I think that if you are listening and thinking our relationship is too far to be fixed, I do not think that it is.
Yep.
We don't think so.
Yeah, 100% we don't. There are some blogs on our website. Check them out. They give some practical answers to some of those questions about, if papers have come. There is no point of not redeeming. It can be redeemed at any time. You just have to put the work in. Yeah. And we've been at that point where we have talked about it prior, much further down the line of doing that.
We've been to the point where we've almost given up. I think we've teetered on the very close to giving up.
I think in 2005 when I was in Iraq, we were
very close.
We were very close, and I think the separation is what kept us going. Yeah. And it was not, and I'll be the first to admit this, it was not because of what Sarah had done. It was 100% because of what I had done. And that took a long time to say, hey, you know what? I'm battling this stuff. And a lot of that, as we're sitting here talking about burnout, was flat out burnout. It was the operational tempo that I was running at, that we had going, that it took its toll. Between train ups and ISOs and all of that fun stuff, it just added to it where it took its toll.
And I think that when the communication is already broken and you already feel stressed and you already feel burnout and you don't want to add one more thing onto your family's plate and you don't want to say, I'm struggling with this. I think that is sometimes when we go looking for someone else who isn't in the thick of it, because then you can just get, people say sometimes, oh, go get somebody's unbiased opinion and just have fresh eyes on it. And sometimes you run into people that they don't want the best for you.
Or like we talked about today, when we were listening to 911 Gabby. If you have Instagram, great person to follow. I think she's hilarious. But she was talking about, just that. Oh, you trauma bonded with that person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, then it's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not.
And that was the whole point of her thing is, oh, well, you heard a new dispatcher on the radio, so you came into dispatch? You've never been in dispatch before?
Yeah.
Oh, you gave what was it, Snapchat? Yeah.
Because I think we can tell ourselves a lot of things. Like you can say, he or she is just my friend. They're just my sounding board. This doesn't have anything to do with my marriage. It's something separate. We're trauma bonded. He or she understands me.
They're my work husband or wife.
Work wife.
Gross. That does not work.
No.
And I will confess that Sarah has access to all of my stuff at any time.
Yep.
The only thing she knows not to look at is obviously if a client texts.
Well, I'm not in here looking at your files. Like a little crazy person going through your files.
I was talking on my phone.
Under our files.
I was talking on my phone. My filing cabinet is locked for a reason to stay in compliance with the state of Texas or the state of Nevada.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying that I'm in here like, sorry, we're way off track. Sorry, get us back on. It's late. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
She has access to my stuff constantly.
And why?
For that reason.
Do you think spouses should have access to everything?
100%.
Why?
Because if you're going to screw up, she going to know. He going to know.
Whether she or he has access or not.
Yeah, they're going to get into it.
And I think
Sarah was the best detective in the world. When I was, and I will admit this, when I was active duty and I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, Sarah was the best detective. She was the Sherlock Holmes of military spouses. She somehow hacked an email that I don't know how she got into.
I don't know either.
But she was able to
I
get
just
into
think that, that being said, all joking aside,
And
that if,
I did not get an email that said that somebody had accessed my email and changed my password either.
that being said, I think that if you don't have anything to hide, you shouldn't have anything to hide.
Right. I agree.
I think that if you're an open book and you've promised yourself to this person for good, the bad, you know, the sickness and health, all the things, I don't think there's anything you shouldn't be sharing with them. Maybe I think John and I sometimes share a little bit too much. We're kind of like, and he'll admit this, so I'm not insulting him for all you guys out there. He'll admit that when we get together, we're like a couple of high school girls. We love to download the tea, as our daughter would say, back and forth about stuff. So I think that, I mean,
But what stuff? It's not like I can divulge a lot of stuff.
you know, just like family drama or
Oh yeah, family drama.
friend drama, all the things.
Family drama that is not off limits. Sarah's family, crazy, and they're listening right now too.
So you can say hi, everybody.
So I can say hi, everybody. Please keep up with your tea.
Stop.
But you know, even we talked about this when we were out on our date because we were trying to get ready for the podcast. We tried to record earlier, and the dogs were going nuts, and it wasn't working. We felt rushed, and we said, "Okay, we're gonna pause." Yeah. And it worked out good. We went out to dinner, and while we were at dinner, we were talking about what we were talking about tonight, and going in, and how long it was going to be, and all of that stuff. And we realized that when we're out, we don't usually talk about our kids.
No.
We intentionally don't. For that
disclaimer,
reason.
we do talk about our grandson.
We do talk about our grandson.
Because we can't help ourselves. So hello, my name is Sarah, and I talk about Dougie on date nights.
Yes. We
do. So if you have a grandkid, I think it's a little bit different, but don't talk about your kids.
But I will also share something. Grandpa is ready for him to come visit.
Grandpa's got all the sugar.
Grandpa is loaded with sugar, fun dips for him. And I got him strawberry and watermelon.
Yum.
I think those are the only ones in here.
But back to when you're on date nights, don't talk.
Concentrate on
try and
the
connect.
moment.
Try and connect. I think that what we want you to hear in this segment is the world is pulling you in every direction, whether you're the first responder or the person at home. For the first responder in the field, this world is crazy. And there's always going to be another call and another thing to go to and all of the things all of the time. If you're the one at home, there's always going to be a nose to wipe, a soccer practice to run, a PTO meeting to go to, all of the things. All of those things are going to intentionally pull you away from each other. But if you don't get to the point where you intentionally look at your family and say, these things are important, but you are more important than these things. If you don't get to a point like that, then I think that's where the real problems come. And if you don't know how to get to that point, we're here for you.
And if you are stressed out,
we love these. I'm very nervous during these things. So these definitely, I'm a believer in these stress balls.
They definitely believer. And if you ever go into the Hood County Emergency Communication Center, you will see these. And what's funny is a couple of them who were named nameless have them in plastic bags so they don't get dirty.
Oh, I love that. It's such a good idea.
They still play with them.
Such a good idea.
Or squeeze them.
Yeah.
And one of them, I love her to death, but she is a shiznit magnet. But they have these, and it's funny when I go in there, and they all have them sitting on the desk, and they're either playing with them or I have it in my bag, and
I just think that the job is hard, the calls are hard, life is hard, no matter what you're doing. Intentionally connect with those that love you the most, because what I did like that you put in this, and I'm going to say, is the calls will end, but your presence at home, that's what lasts.
Yeah.
So be present. And if you need help being present, let us know.
A few special announcements real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, like we said, Donkey Therapy. We had a blast this last weekend.
Yep.
It will be the second and third week.
So not this coming weekend, not Easter weekend, but the next.
But the next weekend, we'll do it Sunday from 2 to 4 out of Texas Rescue. Mm-hmm. You do not have to come for the whole time. You can come for 20 minutes if you want. Mm-hmm. We're out there from 2 to 4. Mm-hmm. And it's just come in.
Yeah, it can be a drop and go thing. Don't feel like when you see the 2 to 4 thing, don't think that you have to take away things. And bring your kids, bring your spouse, bring everybody. Yep. And it's something you do together. For those of you that work night shift and you think, oh, well, I don't have time to go beforehand. If you show up at 3 o'clock, you will still have time to make your 1800 shift. Mm-hmm. Just throwing that out there. Just saying. But we are catching you on your days off, so please hear us there. Please keep the TSA workers in your prayers as you go through. Things have been chaotic. To the 82nd, who is now in Iranian airspace, in that Middle Eastern area. Stay frosty, boys and girls. Mm-hmm. Do your mission and come home safe. But yeah, to everybody out there, be safe, be strong. If you need anything, we are here for you. We are here. If you need to talk and you need a 3 a.m. buddy, at all of our stations around, there is a 3 a.m. buddy sign that's been posted. But you can always call 817-725-9928. It is my office line. It rings directly to my cell phone. Feel free to reach out. You can also go to website at jumpmasterlifecoaches.org. That way you can do it, and I'll put it up on the bottom of the screen like I did last week. Mm-hmm. Hey, we want your feedback. Yeah. We do have to give a shout out to Sean Ryan. Oh, we do. We were recognized as one of his top viewers. Mm-hmm. And he gave us a shout out online. So, Sean, thank you, brother. Thank you. Rangers still lead the way. Mm-hmm. But, as we're going through this and we're learning, we need your help. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a thumbs up or like and follow. If you're watching us on Apple Music, same thing. If you're watching on iTunes or that is Apple Podcast, mm-hmm. or iHeartRadio, which I didn't know was a thing still, or YouTube or Amazon Music. Hey, the only way we move up is by you guys liking and sharing with your friends. We'll keep posting the stuff during the week to keep you all watching and liking and following and all that fun stuff. But like we said, we try to keep these to an hour and 20 minutes. Hey, if there's a topic that you want us to talk about, let us know. Mm-hmm. We have a few topics on the board. Tonight was Burnout. Next week, we're going to talk about affairs. We will probably maybe have a special guest for that one. Because there was an inside joke last week that I will let you all know. Sarah had said that if I threw out the line, just the tip, that a friend of mine was going to have to host with me. I'm talking to you, Justin Price. But I don't think I'll make, Justin, if you're listening, I love you, and I'm not going to make you come in on affairs. But, buddy, just get ready, because you will probably be coming in very soon. A shout out to a certain sergeant. If her shift was on the ball, they would buy her a drink tonight or whatever night that they work again. I'm talking to Sergeant Boone, who busted me for not giving her a shout out or saying that I had said she needed to buy somebody else a drink. So I'm giving her a shout out for that. We have some friends going on cruises this week. Stay frosty out there. Eat lots, have fun. Mm-hmm. To our, what can we call him? What? Maddie's boyfriend. Oh.
Maddie's boyfriend, who is getting baptized on Saturday. Congratulations. I wish I was going to be there for you. I get to babysit 6 dogs, possibly 7.
And next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, Dougie, get ready because Grammy's coming.
I'm babysitting dogs again.
Yes, you are.
So if you feel for me and you'd like, my Venmo is... No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
We love you guys. We will see you next week. Again, John and Sarah, After the Call podcast. Like and share and let the world know.
Yeah.
Be safe out there. Stay frosty. Wear your vests. Be vigilant. Caffeine and hate is a great way to push through. But don't be angry.
Bye, guys.
Bye.